Section 1. The unseen power of a single step. Change doesn't come from one giant leap. It comes from the next small step. We often dream of massive transformations, imagining a future self that is suddenly stronger, smarter, more accomplished. This grand vision can feel inspiring, but it can also be paralyzing. The distance between where we are now and where we want to be seems too vast to cross. We tell ourselves we will start tomorrow, waiting for a surge of motivation that may never arrive. The secret, however, is not found in the leap, but in the simple, repeatable, almost laughably small step you can take today. Let's consider the story of Sarah. For months she felt stuck in a cycle of low energy and dwindling self-confidence. The idea of starting a fitness routine felt like climbing a mountain without any gear. Every evening she would promise herself that the next day would be different, that she would finally begin. But each morning the sheer scale of the task would overwhelm her, and she would postpone it again, feeling a fresh wave of disappointment. This cycle continued, chipping away at her belief that she could ever change. The feeling of being stuck was becoming her normal, a heavy blanket she couldn't seem to shake off. Then, Sarah decided to try something radically different. She threw away the idea of a complex workout plan, and instead adopted a new, incredibly simple rule. She would do just one single push-up each day. That was it. The commitment was so small it felt almost absurd, but that was precisely the point. It was an action she could not rationally refuse. On the first day, she got down on the floor, performed one slightly shaky push-up, and then got up. It took less than 10 seconds, but in that moment, a tiny switch flipped in her mind. She had met her goal. She had succeeded. The next day, she did one more. It was easy. The day after that, feeling a flicker of strength, she did two. This tiny, consistent act began a quiet revolution. A single push-up is not a workout, but it is a promise kept. It is a daily vote for the person you want to become. For Sarah, that one push-up was a daily declaration. I am a person who follows through. Slowly but surely, the number of push-ups began to grow without pressure or force. Within a few weeks, she was consistently doing 10 push-ups a day. The physical change was noticeable, but the mental shift was profound. She was no longer waiting for motivation to strike. She was creating it, one small, deliberate victory at a time. The mountain she once saw had been reduced to a single, manageable step, repeated over and over. Section 2. The first lesson. Crafting micro-habits for momentum. The foundational principle behind Sarah's success is the concept of the micro-habit. This is the first and most crucial lesson: build momentum through incredibly small actions. A micro-habit is a behavior so tiny that it requires almost no willpower to complete. It should be an action you can perform in less than 2 minutes, making it nearly impossible to say no to. The goal is not to achieve a massive result on day one, but to simply start the engine and keep it running. Each time you complete the micro-habit, you create a small win. These wins are like dominoes. While one may seem insignificant, a line of them can topple much larger obstacles. They build a powerful current of momentum that carries you forward. Think of it this way. Your identity is shaped by your repeated actions. When you perform a tiny action every single day, you are casting a vote for a new identity. If you write one sentence daily, you are voting to be a writer. If you meditate for 1 minute, you are voting to be a calmer person. Sarah's one push-up was a daily vote for being a person who is strong and disciplined. The habit is not just about the physical act, it is about reinforcing a belief in yourself. The task itself remains small and unintimidating, but the cumulative effect on your self-perception becomes enormous. You're not just doing something, you're becoming someone. To apply this lesson, you must choose your action with care. The key is to shrink your desired habit down to its smallest possible version. If you want to read more books, your micro-habit is not to read a chapter a day, but to read one single page. If you want to keep your home tidy, your micro-habit is not to clean the whole house, but to put one item back in its proper place. This approach bypasses the brain's natural resistance to effort and change. Section 3. The second lesson. Rewarding consistency, not perfection. The second lesson is a critical mindset shift. You must reward consistency, not perfection. Many of us fall into an all-or-nothing trap. We believe that if we don't complete our habit perfectly or achieve a certain high standard, the day is a failure. If we plan to run 3 miles but only managed 1, we feel defeated. This mindset is a direct path to quitting. The true goal of habit formation is not to be perfect, but to be present. It is about showing up day after day, regardless of the intensity or duration of the effort. The act of engaging with the habit is the victory itself, and it deserves to be celebrated every single time. Your brain is wired to repeat actions that lead to a reward. Therefore, creating a small, immediate reward for completing your micro-habit is essential. This doesn't have to be anything grand or complicated. The reward should be simple and delivered immediately after you complete the action. For example, after you do your one push-up, you could put a bright, satisfying sticker on a wall calendar. Or you could take a moment to say to yourself, out loud, "Good job, I kept my promise today." This small hit of positive reinforcement trains your brain to associate the habit with a good feeling, making you more likely to want to do it again tomorrow. The focus on consistency liberates you from the pressure of performance. On days when you feel energetic and motivated, you might easily exceed your micro-habit. On days when you feel energetic and motivated, you might easily exceed your micro-habit. Sick or overwhelmed, you can fall back on the minimum requirement. By doing just one push-up, or reading just one page, you keep your streak alive. You maintain your momentum. This flexibility is what makes the habit sustainable over the long term. You are teaching yourself that showing up, even imperfectly, is always better than not showing up at all. The unbroken chain of consistency is far more valuable than a few scattered bursts of high-intensity effort. Over time, this practice builds immense self-trust. You're learning that you can rely on yourself to follow through no matter the circumstances. The third and final lesson is to measure your progress on a weekly basis. Daily progress can be so incremental that it is often invisible. If you only look at your results from one day to the next, you may not see any meaningful change. That can be discouraging. It's like watching a plant grow. You won't see it get taller from 1 hour to the next. Step back and look at it week to week. The growth becomes obvious and motivating. Measure weekly for a clearer, encouraging perspective. Tiny, daily inputs become visible, tangible outcomes. Keep measurement as simple as the habit. You do not need complex spreadsheets. You do not need tracking apps. Unless those genuinely motivate you, a simple notebook will suffice. At the end of each week, take 5 minutes to review your progress. If your habit was doing push-ups, count your total for the week. Compare it to the week before. For Sarah, her weekly totals went from 7 to 15 to 35. That was powerful proof her small daily efforts compounded. The data showed she was getting stronger, but also measure how you feel. At week's end, ask yourself a few simple questions. Do I feel more confident? Do I have more energy? Has my posture improved? Has my mood been better? Write a short sentence or two about this. Internal shifts matter as much as external ones. Sarah noticed she stood a little taller, and she spoke with a firmer voice. That was a reward in itself. Qualitative measurement links the habit to well-being, beyond metrics. The weekly check-in is your moment for reflection and adjustment. Troubleshoot issues that came up. Did you miss a few days? If so, why? Perhaps change the time of day you do your habit, or make the action even smaller. Conversely, if you're consistently exceeding the minimum, set a slightly higher but manageable target next week. Gentle course correction lets the habit evolve with you. Keep it challenging enough to be interesting, easy enough to be sustainable. It's your personal strategy session for continued success. Perfection is an illusion that leads to burnout. Consistency is a real, achievable strategy that leads to lasting change. Know you've been a good friend. Sarah's story is a powerful illustration of these 3 simple lessons working in harmony. Her one push-up rule was the micro-habit that created unstoppable momentum. By celebrating the act of doing it each day, she rewarded her consistency and built a chain of success. By tracking her progress weekly, she made her growth visible and tangible, which fueled her motivation to continue. The push-up did far more than build a little muscle. It fundamentally rebuilt her trust in herself. It proved that she was capable of starting something and seeing it through. Her entire sense of self began to shift from someone who can't to someone who can. This powerful framework is not limited to physical fitness. Its principles are universal. Do you want to learn a new language? Learn one new word each day. Do you want to become more mindful? Take one conscious, deep breath every morning. The formula remains the same. Make the first step so tiny it is irresistible. Celebrate the act of showing up. Take a moment each week to admire how far you have come. Each small win is a seed. A garden of them can transform the landscape of your life. You do not need a grand, elaborate plan. You do not need to wait for inspiration or the perfect moment. All you need is a single, tiny step that you are willing to take today. Stack these small actions and they cease to be isolated events. They become a pathway. This pathway, built from your consistency, will lead you to destinations once thought unreachable. You'll look back in a few months amazed all because you started small. 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Decide what that first step will be. Forget the 1,000 miles. Focus on the ground in front of you. Choose one small, positive action. Commit not for a year, or even a month, but for the next 7 days. See how it feels. See what it builds. The power to change is within you, waiting to be unlocked by the smallest of keys. What's one small daily win you'll commit to for the next 7 days?